Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. On today's episode I'm going to be building another military chopper. This one is going to be the BELL H-13H by Revell in 1/35 scale. I've always wanted to build one of these choppers growing up, and growing up we used to watch MASH all the time, and I really like the helicopters. In fact, I was young when MASH was out, but that's probably one reason why I really like helicopters. So I was never able to locate one of these kits growing up. So now that I'm all grown up and I finally found one of these on, I think I got this off eBay pretty cheap, I'm going to get to build it finally. So give me a second to clean up here and we'll get into the box. Okay, let's get this opened up and take a look at what's inside. All right, got some clear parts for the canopy and the canopies over where they will carry the wounded on the side plates there. This is our rear main frame. Actually looks pretty good, not a lot of flash. Really not a lot of cleanup there to do. So that looks great. I'm happy with that. All right, let's get into so we've got one bag of parts here. Made in Poland. Okay. All right. So in this tree, we've got our main props, a pilot, our tanks, engine components, the spine here, the shaft for the rear prop. And again, actually, I'm really pleased with how these parts are looking. We've got some nice detail on the dashboard there, the instrument panel for the avionics. Yeah, looking pretty good. Okay, what do we got here? So here's the parts with the stretchers. They've got a little texture to them. And then these are what the stretchers sit on when they're in flight. So those are pretty nice. Here we got some smaller. Okay, so these are, you can build this with guns and rockets. So that's what those are. Probably won't be using that. And then on the final sprue, we've got the tail protector, the cockpit seats, superstructure braces, control panels, or not control panels, control arms, foot controls, the rear wings, more avionics stuff, parts for the prop, and these skids. And the skids look nice and straight. I know on my previous helicopter builds, my skids have always been warped, which is not fun, but those look nice and clean. The tail rotor here also looks nice and clean. A few small parts, but not bad. All right, we have our instructions. It's pretty thick, actually. How many steps do we got here? So we've got nine assembly steps here. Looks like a pretty straightforward build. Again, this is an older kit. What's the copyright on this particular one is 2011, so it's not that old. But I'm sure the mold is pretty old. I'll have to look at that. I'll have to look that up on ScaleMates and maybe add that information. Okay, then we have our decal sheet. So we've got the MASH decals. We've got the window canopy decal. Some markings, some, warning things, some gauges for the gauge cluster in there. That's nice. So yeah, so we'll have some extras. We won't be using all these, but for the MASH ones, I think these look really nice. All right, so let me get this all cleaned up and we will get to the build. When you're cleaning up and sanding small parts like this, be sure you support them somehow so that you don't accidentally break them while you're sanding them down. I'm using Mission Model's white primer for this kit. This way, when I apply the top coat of olive drab, it'll be a little bit lighter. For the engine, I base coated it in gloss black, and then I used dark aluminum metal color by Vallejo and lightly dusted it until I got just the right color. I used the same process on the rotors as well. For the single fan belt, I'm using XF85 from Tamiya, which is their basic rubber black. Here I'm touching up some of the parts that I had to strip paint off of prior to gluing them together. I'm bringing out some highlights by using a dark gray panel wash for this area. For detailing the seats, I'm using a dark brown panel wash. Prior to adding the decals to this area, I'm brushing on a high gloss clear so the decals will slide around and I can line them up, and they should adhere very well this way. The rotor assembly didn't want to line up just right. There was some cleanup that was needed inside this hole where the alignment shaft goes in. I also removed the alignment pins because when you use them, the rotor wasn't lined up straight. This took a lot of work, but in the end, it came out looking really good. There are a lot of complex curves on this part of the canopy, so I didn't want to mask them. I just freehanded it, and in the end, it turned out looking really good. And we're back with the completed BELL H-13H MASH helicopter by Revell in 1/35 scale. So on this build, I didn't do a whole lot of weathering. I kept it pretty basic. With this design, there's not a lot I could really weather, or that I felt comfortable weathering without maybe making it a little too weathered. So I did do some research and I tried to get it close to the MASH helicopter they used in the TV show. And along my research, I found that apparently there's only one original chopper from the TV show left. The others are long gone. And in the TV show, I want to show you this. I'm going to take this off so I don't damage that. But on the main collector here, I don't know if you can see that. On the helicopter they used in the TV series, the grip on the main collector was blue, because the chopper they used for the TV series was not originally a military helicopter, it was a civilian helicopter, and they retrofitted it and made it look like a military version of the helicopter for the show. I'm not sure if that one was also in the movie or if that was a different one, but either way, I'm paying a little bit of homage to the one from the TV show by doing the blue on the collector. Also, a few other things that I did. I detailed the engine as well as I could. There's not a lot there to work with. I wanted it to look realistic. I didn't want it to be overly detailed. For the covers here that go over the stretchers, I ended up flat coating them because in all of the pictures and scenes, they're not clear. They're very worn and beat, so I did weather those up a little bit. I was going to weather the main bubble there, but I decided not to because this piece of glass, or the piece of clear that they give you, is really nice. So I just left it. I did detail around the trim edges of it to make it look a little more realistic, and I like how it came out. I am really happy with how this turned out, and I want to just say that it did make me work for it a few times. So this is an older kit. Well, older. It was released in 2011, so a little over 10 years now. However, this kit was originally manufactured back in '94 and was originally boxed as the official MASH chopper. It's been reissued a few times over the years, but as far as I can tell, the only changes have been in the box art and the decal sheet. And the decals on this kit were really nice. They laid down great. I didn't have any problems with them. Now, this kit is listed as a skill level 2, but I really think it should be maybe a 3 at the least. Now, the kit itself isn't bad, but the main issue I have is with the instructions. They're very vague in a lot of areas, and it's challenging to see where some of the parts actually connect to the airframe and at other places on the helicopter. It's just not very clear in the instructions, and it's not very clear. There's no positive mounting points in some areas. Also, some of the parts didn't line up quite right. Now, that may be just a little bit of warping or maybe due to the age of the mold. I don't know. But for the most part, everything else, everything went together fine. It's just some parts could have fit a little better. I got around most of these issues by doing a lot of research. I downloaded a ton of images of the actual helicopters from the internet. So if you're going to build this kit, reference photos are your best friends if you decide to do it, because you have to use the reference photos to figure out where some of the things go. At least I did. So overall, this was a really fun build and I enjoyed it very much. I've always been a fan of MASH, both the original movie and the long-lived TV show. I've always had a fascination with helicopters in general, and especially this one. This particular kit has been on my most wanted list for a long time, and I'm happy that I was finally able to get one and build it. Also, it's going to look great on display with all of my other helicopters. Well, I hope you enjoyed the build video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel even more, please check out my new coffee page. The link is in the description. And maybe buy me a coffee or join one of my 3 skill levels. Another way to help support the channel is to head on over to my spread shop. The link is also in the description for some cool channel-related merchandise. Check out some of my new designs available in t-shirt, long sleeves, hoodies, and even some mugs and drink bottles. All proceeds will go directly back into the channel for supplies, kits, and other expenses. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. A big thank you to all of my subscribers, new and old. I really appreciate all of you. So until next time, friends, be safe out there and go build something.